Hey everyone, we've all heard it, right? No pain, no gain. If you want to build muscle and burn fat, you got to go harder. You got to push yourself to the absolute limit. But what if I told you that might be the single worst piece of advice for reaching your goals? Today, we're going to dig into the science, and I promise it's going to surprise you. So, let me just ask you this straight up. You give 110% in every single workout. You leave it all on the gym floor. But what if that red line effort, the very thing you're so proud of, is actually sabotaging your results? I know, it's a challenging thought, but stick with me, because the science is pretty clear. All right, so let's just tear this whole go harder myth apart. We're going to look at what's really happening inside your body when you push it into that red zone. And the first hidden cost, maybe the most shocking one, of constantly redlining your workouts is this. It forces your body to burn the wrong kind of fuel. I know that sounds completely backward, but if fat loss is your goal, the biology here is, well, it's undeniable. See, it all comes down to this really critical idea in exercise science called the crossover concept. The best way to think about it is like a metabolic switch. As you crank up the intensity of your workout, your body literally crosses over from primarily burning fat to primarily burning sugar for that quick, explosive energy. And this table right here, it lays it all out, plain and simple. Just look at zone 2. We're talking moderate intensity, like a brisk walk or a light jog. What's your body's main fuel source? Fat. Now let's jump all the way down to zones 4 and 5. That's your all-out, can't-breathe, red line effort. What's your body burning now? Yep, almost 100% carbohydrates, your stored sugar. So here's the absolute key takeaway. When you're going that hard, your body isn't just preferring sugar, it's actively shutting down its ability to even use fat for fuel. The biochemical signals sent during that kind of intense effort basically slam the door on your fat stores while you frantically burn through your very limited supply of carbs. And if you need a picture, well, here it is. That massive bar on the left, that's your fat burn during a nice, steady Zone 2 workout. You're a fat-burning machine. Now, see that tiny little sliver on the right? That's your fat burn during that all-out Zone 5 effort. It's practically nothing. You are working so much harder for almost zero fat burn. Okay, so that's problem number 1. But it gets worse, believe it or not. It's not just about what fuel you're burning. That same high-intensity signal can actually flip a switch in your body that turns off muscle growth. So inside your cells, you've basically got these two competing pathways that act like light switches. When you lift weights, you flip on the build switch. It's called mTOR, and it tells your body, hey, let's synthesize some new muscle. But when you do that crazy red line cardio, you smash the survive switch. That one's called AMPK, and it tells your body there's an energy crisis, and it needs to shut down anything that costs energy, like, you guessed it, building muscle. And here is the fundamental conflict. The survive signal directly blocks the build signal. You can't have both on at the same time. Pushing into the red line sends an emergency flare to your body, and in an emergency, you don't build a new house. You just hunker down and try to conserve every last resource to get through it. So, what does all this molecular stuff actually look like in the real world for your gains? Well, studies looking at athletes who combine their weight training with a ton of high-intensity cardio show muscle growth of about 16%. Now compare that to this number, 28%. That's the muscle growth they see in the groups that just did the resistance training. Think about that. You could be leaving almost half of your potential muscle gains on the table because that redline cardio is constantly hitting the brakes on growth. All right, on to the third hidden cost, the hormonal fallout. Redline training isn't just exercise. It's a massive stressor on your system. And that stress has real, tangible consequences for both your muscle and your fat stores. And the main villain in this story is a hormone called cortisol. Now, it's useful in short bursts, but the kind of extreme stress from constant redline training can cause it to stay chronically high. And what does chronic cortisol do? It's a double whammy. It literally breaks down your hard-earned muscle for energy, and it signals your body to store more fat, especially right around your belly. Let's make this personal for a second. Have you ever done one of those absolutely brutal morning workouts, and then for the rest of the day you just feel like a zombie? You just want to be a lump on the couch? Yeah, that feeling, that's a huge clue that leads us right into our next problem. Okay, look at this. The actual workout, the thing we obsess over, is just this tiny little 5% sliver of our total daily calorie burn. The real game changer is that huge 25% slice called NEAT. That stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. It's a fancy term for all the little movements you do all day long, walking around, fidgeting, taking the stairs, all of it. And this brings us right to what I call the NEAT paradox. That extreme workout that left you completely exhausted, it causes your body to subconsciously conserve energy. You just move less for the next 24 hours without even thinking about it. And that massive drop in your daily life movement can completely, and I mean completely, erase the calorie deficit you thought you worked so hard for in the gym. Okay, I know that all sounds pretty bleak. We've seen how going too hard burns the wrong fuel, stops muscle growth, and kills your daily energy. So what's the answer? It's about shifting to a strategy that actually works with your body's biology, not against it. This smarter approach is really just a simple 3-step process. First, you prioritize your resistance training. That's your number one non-negotiable signal to build muscle. Second, you add your cardio, but you do it smart. You keep it in that low-intensity fat-burning zone too. And third, you actually focus on recovery, giving your body the time and the resources it needs to grow. And this strategy it solves every single problem we laid out. Instead of burning sugar, you're now maximizing fat burning. Instead of a signal conflict, your build and survive switches can coexist peacefully. Your stress hormones stay in check, and you have plenty of energy left over to keep that all-important NEAT high all day long. So I really want to leave you with this final thought. Maybe the goal shouldn't be to crawl out of the gym feeling completely wrecked every day. Maybe the real goal is to finish your training feeling energized and strong so that your workout actually enhances the other 23 hours of your day. The goal isn't to survive your workout, it's to thrive because of it.